Good morning, traders. Welcome to the market call for today, the 20th of October 2025. We're excited to have you all here. My name is CJ, and I'm going to be taking you through the first part of the market call. During this first part, we're going to be looking at a couple of currency pairs for our analysis. We're going to be starting off with the dollar index, and then we'll look at Euro USD, GBP USD. We're going to also look at gold against the dollar, and then the yen pair. So these are the things that we're going to be covering today for our market color. So I want you all to sit tight and enjoy the rest of the market color as we proceed with our analysis for today. Now, starting off with the dollar index. Now, let's move our chart over to the dollar index. Now, looking at the dollar index, we're seeing that it gave, well, a week before last week, it made a very strong move to the upside. And then last week, it made some smaller move to the downside. But overall, you okay, let me make sure my screen is shared. All right. Okay, so looking at the dollar index on the lower time frame, which is the daily time frame, not the 4 hour now, the daily time frame, you can see how that it made a move to the upside and then made a quick retracement back down. And this has created kind of a trend on the lower time frame. Looking at it from the daily time frame, you won't see that it's actually a trend, but the lower time frame, it's a trend. Price traded into this daily order block and then sold off. Right now, we're expecting it to pick up back and then trade further to the upside based on what we are seeing currently. So for me, I'm expecting the dollar index on the lower, getting on the daily time frame. We're expecting the dollar index to trade a little more higher after the close of last week, which was somewhere around here. So as at the beginning of today, we're expecting it to trade higher. Now let's look at it on 4 hour time frame. On the 4 hour time frame, you can see that it is just few pips or few distance away from filling up this gap that was created a couple of weeks ago. So I would want to see this gap filled up before price make that move to the upside. The reason for this is because I would want to see how price is going to trade away from here, because ideally this gap is supposed to be filled up before the move. However, if we see price moving without filling up this gap, there's still no biggie, because we've seen it happen several times before. But then I would not want to have a situation where price will start trading up and then leave this level here, this low, as a liquidity point. So I would rather see price fill it up and then trade further to the higher side. This is what I expect to happen this morning from the market. So for the dollar index, we might see one more push to the downside. And that push to the downside could be coming out from this 98.500 region, which is somewhere around here. So this 98.500 region could be the place that will send price further downwards. So let's mark it out. Okay, so this is the place I'm expecting to see what price is going to do around. So somewhere around here, yes. So this level here, I want to see what price is going to do around that level. If price is going to trade all the way back here and then sell off. So this means we'll be seeing something like this, a move here, another here, and then final move to the upside. Okay, so let me draw it. So we want to see something like this. And then, so this is what we're expecting. So if price trades all the way here, oh no, this is not it. So we did something like this earlier. So from here, here, and here. Okay, so this is what we want to see. If price make this play, then interestingly, it's going to be one of the best plays yet this week. So I would want to see a pushback here. So I'm willing to buy the dollar into this region, sell it into this region, and then push back to the upside. This is what I want to see on the dollar index, and I'm willing to take advantage of it once it plays out. Okay, so this is my bias on the dollar index. Let's see how that's going to have an impact on other currency pairs like the Euro USD, GBP USD, and the like, starting off with the Euro USD. Now, looking at the Euro USD on the daily time frame, I would see that it has already traded a little downwards, unlike what we have on the dollar index where price is stuck within a range. Euro USD has been trading very well around that range as well. But then it's a bit different. It's giving more clarity on what the dollar index will do. Right now, Euro USD has traded into this region, and we're looking to see it sell further to the downside afterwards. And then on the lower time frame, where we usually get our trade buyers from, we'll see that Euro USD almost have nothing to prove because, I mean, if you look at it from the 1 hour time frame, you look as though price almost filled up this level. So the only place that is left is to fill up this guy here. So that is like a volume gap we want to see filled up before the final move. So for Euro USD, I'm willing to take a buy on Euro USD to trade it all the way here. Once it trades into this level here, then I would now start looking for a sell, just like what we have on the dollar index where we want to see it sell. Okay, wanted to see it, wanted to see it buy, then sell, then buy again. So for Euro USD, it's in a good place already. All I want to see it do right now is to trade it all the way here. So I want to see a move of Euro USD here, then the last sell to the downside. So this is what I just want to see on Euro USD. It's quite straightforward on Euro USD. There's no complication in what is happening on Euro USD so far. So I want to see how Euro USD is going to play out around this level. So we're looking forward to seeing how that plays out towards the end of the day. So for me, overall, I'm expecting a buy on Euro USD. I don't expect it to trade all the way downwards, except we see something like this. Let me show you something. Yeah, so if this is the whole move that Euro USD made last. So we want to see it possibly retrace into this other block here on 50%. So this could be a possible sell move, which I am not really interested in, because if you look at the pip distance that will be covered, it's not that much. This is about 30 pips, if I'm not mistaken, even less. It's about 26 pips. So I would not even want to take this kind of trade, because what would my stop loss be? 2 pips, 5 pips, imagine. So for me, I would rather have this as a trap for Euro USD, where I would want to see it trade into this level here and then trade all the way back up. So instead, I'll be more interested in the buy of Euro USD around this level. So I'm looking forward to a buy on Euro USD around here. If I see Euro USD coming around here, I'm going to be taking my buy and riding it all the way to the upside. So for Euro USD, this is what I'm looking out for. I want to see price trade into that level we just marked out right now. And then afterwards, we would see it trade back to the upside. So this is my bias on Euro USD. This is what I expect to play out within the day on this particular. Now let's move over to GBP USD. Let's see what GBP USD has for us today. So for GBP USD, let's start it off on the daily time frame. For GBP USD, you can see how slowly it has just been creating a bearish move to the downside. You can see that the lows are getting lower and the highs are getting higher on GBP USD. So we expect, sorry, the lows are getting lower rather, and the highs are getting lower as well. So we expect that to continue playing out on GBP USD, looking at what we have on the daily time frame already. Now, if we go to the 4-hour time frame as well, you see that GBP USD has made a strong retracement all the way here. So I expect it to stall a little and then finally sell off. If at all, if it's going to make any move, then we expect it to make one last push into this 4-hour order block here. This one. Okay. So maybe one last move into this level here before the sell. So for GBP USD, we're expecting it to buy overall because it has already started showing us that sign But then before that buy, I'm just looking at the possible places it might trade into. But then my overall thoughts on GBP USD is to see it trade into this level here before that buy. So I don't expect that buy to play out immediately, but I just want to see it possibly sell into this level here first before the buy. So it's even GBP USD that I'll be more interested in selling, because if you look at the distance that's going to be covered, this is about 50 pips, you see, this is 56 pips. So I'm more interested in GBP USD sell before the buy. All right, when GBP USD has sold off into this level, then I'll be willing to buy it. Same way I want to buy Euro USD. So my buys for GBP USD this morning is to see a short-term sell into this level, because I also expect a short-term sell on Euro USD, but I'll not be willing to take that because the distance to be covered is about 26 pips and it's not worth my kind of trade, except you want to scalp. If you want to scalp where you risk about 5 pips to make 20, then that's going to be a good trade for you. So for me, I would instead wait for Euro USD to get into that area before buying. Then what I'm willing to sell is GBP USD, because the distance to be covered is about 50 pips, and that's quite decent. So I'll be looking for a GBP USD sell into this level here, then I'll be looking for a buy. So I want to see something like this, a sell off on GBP USD into this level here, then a buy. So let's go into the lower time frame and see how the setup is going to play out. Now, let me show you somewhere you should mark out on GBP USD. This level right here, just at this fair value gap here. This level right here, this is where I'm willing to buy GBP, sell GBP USD from. So I want to see GBP USD get into this level here, then I'll be selling it. Once it trades into this fair value gap, I'll be looking for a sell all the way to the downside for GBP USD. So my position will be somewhere around here. Then stop loss will be right above here, about 15 pips. All right. And then take profits will be all the way here, which is about 60 pips or so. All right. So this is it. This is my trade on GBP USD this morning. I want to take this trade and see how it's going to play out. So let's watch GBP USD today and see if this trade is going to be triggered. So GBP USD sell, this is what we have. And then when it gets here, we're going to look for a buy trade and then trade it all the way to the upside. Okay. So this is what we have for today. And I hope you all are able to see it and then take advantage of it. All right. So right now we're going to go on a very short break. And then when we return, we're going to analyze gold against the dollar. We're also going to analyze the yen baskets, GBP, JPY, Euro, JPY, and the likes. Okay, so stay around, and then when we return, we'll continue with the analysis for this morning. My name is CJ, and enjoy the rest of today's market follow.
Hello, good morning, everyone. Welcome back to the Market Follow, brought to you by the Value Flow Trading Team. And that was an insightful analysis from CJ. So this morning, we are going to be going straight into the analysis of the precious metal. What do we have playing out so far? Where should we be heading to for the course of the week? And what should be our expectation? Yeah, so, and from there, we are going to be moving straight to Japan to see what is going on the yen basket. Then we will use that to interpret what we should expect to see on the yen correlated pairs like GBP, JPY, Euro, JPY. All right, so stay back and let's start with the precious metal on the weekly time frame. We've seen how that price has been very bullish. We've seen this bull run all through to the 4,400 level, 4,396 level, 376 level. That is where the precious metal traded to sometimes last week, and we begin to see some level of pullback, of which we assume that this pullback is going to be a long one, at least if not 50% of this last swing to the upside. However, we are still expecting that there is high probability that this week price traded into the 4,500 level this week. But if that is it, let's look at the lower time frame to determine where exactly we should come in and also pull the trigger moving forward. And right on the daily time frame, we are going to observe that for the daily, we have Friday closes bearish, and today again opens to be a bearish move to the downside, of which we may see today into Wednesday to be a bearish day for the precious metal. And if that is the case, what should we expect to see, and where are the levels we are looking out for to take our trade? So on the daily time frame, we are going to observe that the whole swing from this consolidation after the breakout has been very long. So we expect some level of pullback. Let's now go to the 4-hour time frame to mark out levels where the pullback are mostly going to get into. First, we have the resistance level here that was broken, and then we expect price to come somewhere around that zone when it's pulling back. And when price get there, we should see first reaction around that zone for price to the upside. That should be the first level. However, if we interpret more on the lower time frame from the 1-hour time frame, we've not really seen a clear market structure shift. Although we saw this on Friday, how that price traded below this low of Thursday, but we've not really seen a clear market structure shift. But we said that if price breaks out from this other block that we marked on Friday to the downside, then we expect that when price pull back to that level again, then this should serve as a breaker. And at the same time, we now have another order block at a particular point. So what my expectation is this morning is I'm expecting proper trade into, since we already have this as a breaker block and we also have another block there, is more of a click zone right now. So I'm expecting price to trade into this order block, and at the same time we have a fair value gap just inside of that level. So these are my expectation for the precious metal for today. When price trades into that level, we should look out for entry signature for a sell. During the Asian session, it attempts it, but does not really trade into it. So I'm expecting a take out of this Asian high, price clearing the Asian high and trading into this fair value gap that we have here on the 1-hour time frame. So that is the move we are expecting today for a sell of the precious metal. And the sell may not be a very long-term sell because the overall trend is still an uptrend. So this is just going to be a short sell to the downside, price coming, tapping into the zone and then declining further to the downside, right? So that is that on the 1-hour time frame. Let's now check on the 15-minute time frame for more confirmations. Now on the 15-minute time frame, since this is our reference point for the 1-hour time frame, when price get there, we look for entry signature, and if it doesn't show up there, then this is going to be the next bus stop for the sell that we are most likely going to see today. Especially, I'm expecting that to happen this London session, and if not, then we are going to see it show up during the New York session. And this is going to be it for the precious metal today. As you can see, this is another order block with a fair value gap, even on the 15-minute time frame. So we should look out for this level, this fair value gap, and even this particular one on the 1-hour time frame. So in a nutshell, the summary is we expect price to take out this Asian high, and when price takes it out, tap into this 1-hour fair value gap, then we can now begin to look out for our entry signature, which is a bearish engulfing for the sell we are expecting to see today. All right, that is that. And if you want to go lower a bit more, you can also check your 5-minute time frame. On the 5-minute time frame, I'm seeing more confirmations for this 1 hour, while at the same time, even for this 15-minute time frame. So let's watch out for these two levels on the precious metal for today's trade for the short sell. All right, so that is that for the precious metal moving forward. A quick one to Japan to see what we have going on the yen basket. Now for the yen basket, remember 2 weeks ago we have price traded into our long-term people high, which is this weekly fair value gap, and we expect to see a a buy all the way to the upside. Last week we saw how the market rallied all through, and on Friday it closes with a bearish move, of which we know why that happened, because of the bust pattern that we have at this region. This is the shoulder mark here. This is the sweep, and we've seen the first will go to the downside. Price came all the way back, very bullish, and tapped into the shoulder region, and now it's beginning to pull all the way back. But this sell that we are seeing here is for this particular trade pattern to be, cleared, right? And this is it pulling all the way back down. Let's go to the 4-hour time frame to see where exactly the market is heading to. Now, on the 4-hour time frame, what I've been seeing on the 4-hour time frame as at the open of the market is price is most likely coming. Remember, this is one of the very good characteristics we know about the yen baskets, building liquidity to grab it. So we are expecting price to come all the way and take out this liquidity level that we have on this 4-hour time frame. The right tendency we see that happen, and at the same time it may trade into the 4-hour order block which we have playing out here. All right, so these are the levels we are most likely going to see price. If by any means it wants to pull back, then it can pull back into this level, tap into this 4-hour order block, take out this liquidity, and continue its bullish trend all the way to the upside. Knowing fully well that we are targeting all the diagonal liquidities, we are targeting all this liquidity all the way to the upside. So we are still expecting price to trade all the way to come and take out this level here. All right, so that is that for the yen basket. Let's now use this information to interpret our outlook on the GBP JPY. Now for GBP JPY on the weekly time frame, you are going to agree with me that sometimes last year, 2024, we saw a market structure shift to the downside. And since that time, we've been expecting pullback, which just happened 2 weeks ago at this point. And now price is heading all the way to the downside. And from what we are playing out on the yen basket, we are expecting a sell for the GBP JPY all the way to the downside. And where exactly should we expect the sell all the way into? I'm still expecting the sell to come and take out all this load, all this liquidity here to the downside for GBP JPY. Now, if you look at it from the daily perspective, we are going to observe 2 weeks ago we have a market open jump at this particular region, and we are expecting that price would trade all the way into that jump, then pull back a bit before it continues its massive sell to the downside. And as you can see, sometimes at that market open 2 weeks ago, we had a bust pattern failure, which is this particular one. Normally, this is a shoulder, and we expect price to, get to this point and sell off. So at this point, we are expecting that price would now come all the way to fill this gap. If not 100%, then we are going to say 50%, and we are going to see a pull to the upside again. In a nutshell, this is what we are expecting to see on GBP JPY. Then we are going to see a pull all the way to the upside, and then the final sell of GBP JPY. All right, so this is what we are looking out for on the daily time frame for GBP JPY. And on the 4-hour time frame, we are going to observe for 4 hours we have this same level where we are still expecting price to trade into. You can see price is gradually forming lower lows, lower lows, lower lows. So we are expecting more of the sell to the downside. Let's now go and check on the lower time frame, like 1 hour, to see where we have clear levels there. Now on the 1 hour time frame, we have a level where the massive sell entry, as we've been waiting for that at this particular top here, because we have our shoulder, our sweep of liquidity, and our possible break to the downside. And before the break, we see liquidity build. So we are expecting that price is going to come all the way to come and tap into that shoulder and probably take out this liquidity out of the market. Take out this out of the market. So that is what we're expecting. So now for today being Monday, we're expecting that because of the levels we have on the yen basket, which we still expect it to maybe pull back a bit before the massive buy to the upside, then we may likely see the yen basket, buy a little bit of before the sell. But let's go to, don't let us conclude here. Let's go to the 15-minute time frame to look at the recent structure of which we can easily follow through with. All right, for the 15-minute time frame, remember we have this level marked out on Friday, where we are expecting that price is going to trade into after taking out the Asian high, but price really did not get there. So it's still very much valid. I'm still expecting that price is going to sell all the way into this order block. Then we may now begin to see our entry signature from this point to follow through Once again, sorry for the break in transmission. This is our entry signature that we should be looking out for on Euro JPY. All right. Till we meet again by 2 p.m. for the New York recap. Make sure you trade cautiously and use your proper risk management strategy. I'm Lekon Cheers and God bless.